Hi, you are watching Live with Dr. B and Tanjie. Hi, I'm Tanjie, your host, and there is...
Hi, I'm Dr. B, and we are excited to have this show today, and it's just before Valentine's, and I was telling Tanjie it's perfect that we're in my kitchen because I have a sexy stovetop. I really do. I even designed it so it has a curve that's symmetrical with the curves of the pulls on my drawer and on my refrigerator. When I come into my kitchen, there's this harmonic convergence of curves, and it makes me want to be creative. So here we are on a show about sex and love and the heart, and we're in my sexy kitchen with my sexy stovetop, and there's Aloe, my aloe plant,
and your aloe
one of the members of my family.
Well, so you can make your sexy, healthy food, right, darling? Well, welcome everyone to the show. We're glad that you're watching in this beautiful month of February where we are thriving. Aren't you just vivacious tonight, Dr. B?
Well, I love that it is the month of February because it's the month of love.
And the heart month too, heart health. You know, that's an important part of this month as well. So red for the women who are powerful and taking control of their health, and red for love. Well, we are talking about love. We're talking about everything, aspects of the heart tonight. Broken heart syndrome. Now, because we're going to jump right into it, everyone. Now, Dr. B, I was reading from a very reliable source. Research has shown that there's a study done, and there's a diagnosis called broken heart syndrome, and it happens to women that have gone through these certain situations, and the diagnosis.
Wait. It is not just women.
Right.
It's largely to women, but I have to backtrack for 1 second, Tanjie.
Yes, let's do it.
We think of the heart in one way as an anatomical pump.
Yes.
We think of a heart in another way, metaphorically, as the compassionate heart.
Yes.
But they normally are separate in our minds, but the broken heart syndrome unites them. It unites them because what it tells us is that emotion can affect the heart and make it simulate a heart attack, even though you didn't have any risk factors for a heart attack. And it happens a little bit more commonly in women, but it can happen to anyone. A broken heart has a billable insurance code. If you're diagnosed with it, I don't know how many doctors or ER docs are aware of it to decipher it from a regular heart attack. They're so similar, although it's shorter lived, but you can actually get insurance reimbursement for being treated for a broken heart.
Broken heart syndrome. And you are right, it does affect men and women, but 90% of the diagnosis are women. So let's talk about that. Women are feelers, right? We are emotional by nature. We incubate things that go on. And there's a slide that I'd like to show where a man usually will rest through a situation of pain, and the woman kind of stresses. She's thinking about it all night. She cannot sleep. Or maybe she overeats, or maybe the appetite is less. Let's talk about that. Why is it a hormonal thing? Dr. B, is that why you think that the percentage of women experiencing broken heart syndrome is so large?
What you're talking about is called in medicine as the gender-specific differences. In medicine, how does a male body experience health issues differently from a female body? We know for a fact that women experience stress more deeply. When we're stressed out by an argument with our hubby, he can go to the car, go off to work, and his stress hormones are already down by the time he stops off at Starbucks for a cup of coffee. We might hold our stress hormones high for another month, even though it was a 1 hour or 15-minute talk that upset us. We really respond differently to stress, and most of this broken heart syndrome, which, by the way, is called Takotsubo syndrome, based after the shape of a lobster trap that's used in Japan, because in a broken heart syndrome, what happens is the shape of the heart changes, and it looks similar to what Japanese researchers thought were the traps that they used to try and catch some lobsters. And so the heart ventricle reshaped itself due to stress and pain and sorrow, and it looked like a lobster trap. So that word, that real polysyllabic word, is based on that.
Right.
And women, it happens more to middle-aged women because hormones protect our heart. They really protect our heart. And as we get older and we have less hormones, we start having less hormones. We have the most hormones we'll ever have at 25 years old. By 30, they're going down. By 40, by 50, we are low. The tank is low, girls. More susceptible to heart issues when your protective hormones are low.
Can we replenish that tank as we go along? Is there a way that we can put gas in that baby, hormone gas?
That reminds me of the scene in the First Wife Club where Goldie Hawn is sitting in the chair in front of Carl Reiner, who's playing the plastic surgeon, and she goes, "Fill her up." Talking about her lips, and you're saying, "Can we fill up the tank?"
Yes, for hormones.
That's a great question, Tanjie. We can. We very well can. And in fact, Better Living Through Chemistry is available to us to slow down the Mack truck of aging. And it's almost silly, if not ridiculous, to put aside the fears that the Women's Health Initiative inappropriately downloaded or Vulcan mind melded to us about hormones, because hormone replacement and foods that boost good hormones and things that boost hormone production naturally in our body, like sex with somebody you love or orgasm, they boost hormones. They now have MRIs and blood levels before and after making love. And when you make love, especially with somebody you really, really, really like, your body makes more hormones. And when you make more hormones, your heart and your brain, because they're both very similar tissues, your heart and your brain get more protected. There are things you could do to fill up that tank.
Yes.
That's a great metaphor.
But that's really good to know, because I think we've all heard the word hormones, for so long, but how it relates to our health, how it relates to the heart is really astounding. And then too, you mentioning, hey, sex is amazing and being cherished. I think the connectivity of it all, even in relationships, there's something about feeling loved, and there's something about feeling cherished. And when you're not, and when there's a disconnect there, I think that you are more susceptible to of a deplenish in your hormones. Is that correct?
Well, if you read Match.com, and Match.com just hired Helen Fisher, an anthropologist, to take a look at this huge survey that they sent out, because online dating is happening, man. It's happening.
It is.
It's looking at how people merge or not. And everybody says they long for connection. But the problem is you can only have with somebody else what you already have
within yourself.
And I've sat with so many guys who sit in front of me and say, and I know they mean it, that they're longing for connection. And I can feel that they're so disconnected from the neck down to themselves, especially to their heart of compassion, let alone the anatomical pump, because we're talking about bringing the body and mind and spirit together on the show tonight, the heart being and living on all levels. Most people are disconnected to their heart on all of those levels. But yes, the more you're connected to yourself on all of those levels, the more protected and happier you are. But it's a lifelong awakening.
And it's interesting because there's another slide that I have about a woman wallowing in her pain. And you mentioned, or man, you mentioned that you have to first go within yourself. And I think sometimes in relationships, we expect others to come to us. Like if you just had a horrible argument, right? And sometimes with the one that you love, let's talk about it being a spousal relationship. And if you
got your husband that's helping us here with this, you got your child. I told you got a mother that had an alloplant at home and made earrings out of incredible vintage jewelry, and then she made plants out of those earrings. I mean, you have it all. So you're talking from the marriage
from the marriage point of view.
But I want what you're saying.
Or friendship. Let's just say, or you get upset, you're hurt, and you expect that person to come to you and apologize, and so you kind of wallow in it. So they come to you and they're like, well, you want to talk, and you're like, no. But you want them to keep pursuing you, but you keep that pain going, and it is really your decision to jump up out of it and love yourself enough to say, I'm not going to let this affect me, because where we spoke about how a man can turn on the game after you say no, but you really expect him to come and lie next to you and, and chat, but you really have to be whole within yourself. So that's the point I wanted to make with that.
I think it's always good to have a glass of water.
Right.
Take a breath and soften.
Ah, yes.
It's very, very difficult to really figure out why and how somebody else said whatever it was they did.
Right.
And a big part of the heart being healthy on all levels is really being open to what your mate or the person you're dating or your child is really trying to say to you through their actions. Because most people are very, very unawakened. And we demand and want connection and all these entitled rights and treated in so many ways when we're all moving through our lives with a big paper bag over our heads. So we have to drink a glass of water, take a breath,
right,
and have a little bit of a giggle about the mystery and the calamity of it all, and certainly with things of the heart.
Right, right. The mystery and the calamity of it all.
Calamity.
I'd like to speak right now about just real life situations, because I know there are many that are watching, that have gone through pain. We all have experienced it. And I often say that you can either sit there in it, or you can ride with the pain, and you can allow yourself to move. And we have a viewer who is watching today, and she submitted a story about her awakening moment. And I'm just going to read a little bit about it. It says, "You would think that just learning that your spouse had been unfaithful would just affect you and your emotions, right? Wrong. My weight plummeted. I lost 75 pounds in 6 months. I suffered from what mimicked PTSD and really could not connect."
She had broken heart syndrome, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, and she couldn't connect with her sons. And she also was lethargic. She could not sleep. She would just give the kids and the family pizza and just cry and go to bed. And this lasted for 5 years. 5 years this lasted. But how she chose to get over it, she chose to stay after finding out that her husband he was a serial guy who was unfaithful, it says. And she decided to stay because she truly loved him. She says that she had to release the poisonous thoughts. Of course, she had to connect spiritually to God, and she decided to forgive, but truly forgive, because she realized that every time she would see something on TV that there was cheating and she was with her husband and everything was fine, she would throw it up in his face, and what would happen? The journey would start all over again as far as with them, with her being hurt and feeling that pain. But she was keeping him in a cage and she was in a cage, so she decided to release. And because of that forgiveness, she is now experiencing peace. So thank you. She's in North Carolina, watching for North Carolina.
Wait.
Yes?
So is he like no longer, catting around?
Yes, he is no longer catting around.
Okay.
And
That's really beautiful. So she made a change in herself,
right,
which then resonated within her partner.
right.
But I want to say one thing that I think is so interesting, and I think that's a success story. Someone who grieved whatever her timing she required, because grieving is personal.
Right.
And she needed 5 years to grieve. There's no right or wrong in the tincture of time that it takes you. And then she chose to heal herself. Mm-hmm. And miraculously, that healed her beloved.
Right.
So that's an amazing story. But I was on a dance cruise, and it was in a beautiful place off the coast of Italy.
Yes.
And I went up to the upper deck, and there were all of these Europeans sitting there, and no one was from my American dance, West Coast swing country dance group. We were sitting down and the sun was setting. It was a really pretty spectacular evening, and the people were all very wonderful. We started chatting, and the women said to me, and there was a woman from France and a woman from Germany, they were all there with their husbands, and a woman from Portugal. And they said, we feel so sorry for you American women. And I was like, what? We always think we're the best country in the world, and we've got everything in the world, and here, we just we have all these happy faces of the anchor people on TV. We're doing okay. And she said, you know, we feel sorry for you because you have to be so beautiful and so perfect, and you could never cheat on each other. And the minute a man cheats on you, you're out the door. And you have to have a job, and you have to look perfect, and you have to be a sex kitten in bed, and you have to do everything yourself because your nuclear family is disbanded. She said, we marry for life in our 20s, and we know we'll be together for decades, and there's breathability in our relationship. Maybe there'll be a stray catting around. Maybe there'll be this, maybe there'll be that, but we're taken care of. We don't have to look perfect in a bathing suit. We don't have to bring home all that bacon. There's a lot more reality within our relationship than it should be perfect on all these levels, and if it's not, it's up for grabs whether we're going to last or not, and we're going to be damaged as hell.
You know.
Well, that was a conversation, an epiphanetic conversation in my life.
Yes.
Because I thought, what is this woman saying? And then I thought, wow. What is this woman saying?
What is she saying?
To have breathability in your life where your beloved can make some mistakes and you can still make it work, like this woman you're talking about, who probably is a very intelligent woman.
Right, and she
but
is.
Unfortunately, she had those 5 years of severe stress, which is sad that she needed to abandon herself for that length for her own journey.
That's, you know, that's correct. And the breathability thing, I think, is so powerful because when you look at yourself and you can really make an assessment and you understand that you are within yourself not perfect and you have to give yourself even breathability, and then why not so much more the person too that you love, that unconditional love. So that's healthy, right? Breathing, taking a moment to
glass of water.
Yeah, a glass of water.
Right.
and
someone
really
else's
breathe.
moccasins, if you could possibly even do it. It's easy to say, and it's another universe
Now,
to
yes.
accomplish.
Now this
It's
woman,
very difficult to be present.
right?
It
in the
takes
moment.
a lot of elbow grease and much failure and much pain and suffering to get one to a place in oneself of presence.
Yes.
And then one can be truly present with your heart to the heart of your beloved. In all my opinion, but that's my opinion.
No, that's great. Thank you for sharing that.
There's Alice. You see Alice?
Yes, the aloe plant, everyone, in the back. She has,
I think that's Alice's.
which I think everyone should have a plant in their home to clean the air. It really represents great life. Those 5 years that this woman went through, that situation. Let's talk about managing the dis-ease of the heart before disease sets in. You know, doing the things that are important. And I want to kind of give everyone some quick tips for heart health, because it is Heart Month. You know, what are some of the things that can be done as far as nutrition wise and with exercise? And you know, I'm a huge believer in that. And when you are in a situation where you are managing the dis-ease of the heart, because there's sometimes it's involuntary, right? You may feel pain in your heart, you go to sleep, you awaken from tears because your heart, you have not dealt with some of the things in your heart, so you're still not able to sleep. So there's dis-ease going on, and we talked about that if it's not managed properly, how it affects the heart. You can mimic like a heart attack. People can have stroke. I know someone who actually had a stroke yelling at her kids, because when you take your body up to that heightened state, stress hormones, you know, you produces cortisol and all of that, and you can actually have a stroke even from being upset and arguing. So let's talk about managing the dis-ease of the heart when you're going through a period of broken heart syndrome.
Well, the broken heart syndrome mimics a heart attack. You
Right.
can have elevated enzymes, you have pro-inflammatory molecules released, you can have pain, you have changes in the shape
Yes.
of your heart, and all of your physiology is based on shape. So when your heart shape changes, you can have damage. But the broken heart syndrome mends anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks. It's transient, depending on the length of your emotional pain. Although there can be up to 6 or 7 or higher percentage of people who go on and get heart failure, even from an emotionally based broken heart, because they don't heal. So what are the ways to heal? Well, I was a speaker one weekend at the American Holistic Medical Association with Dr. Stephen Sinatra, who's a cardiologist that I hold a lot of respect for. And he was saying that he used to be a surgeon and do heart transplants, but now he knew how to heal the heart. And if people did what he told them to do, he could take a heart in a patient that was set up for a transplant, and he could heal that heart so definitively that the patient no longer needed a transplant. That means there are heart healing steps that we can do. I mean, there's a lot that's beyond totally the scope of this show, but the cardiomyocyte, that's the basic cell of the heart. It responds to nutrition. It responds to exercise, to herbs. It responds to it has mitochondria, the energy powerhouse of the cells, and there are things to reboot the energy inside the cardiomyocytes. There's everything on the body, mind, spirit level between meditation and peace and gentle exercise building up to more demanding exercise, to very specific nutrients. There's very specific heart building nutrients, which is a little bit beyond the scope. But for example, Dr. Sinatra talks a lot about CoQ10, and ribose is a very specific cardiomyocyte, mitochondria boosting sugar. So there is a whole protocol.
Right.
But the main thing is one has to look at one's life when you're in a pickle. And you've got, your heart is either broken, or you're waking up and you have severe insomnia, or you're just unhappy and extremely fatigued. You're in a pickle.
Right.
And whatever way you've already been living isn't working for you.
Yes.
You have to make a change. Your life is screaming, listen to me, make a change. So often you need to go to some experts to give you some guidance on a body, mind, spirit level, because usually changes are demanded of you on all three of those levels for you to have a complete healing. And the body and the heart are designed to heal.
Oh, that's excellent. And it is the three, it has to be my body, mind, and spirit. There's a cleanse.
At each level, it's snagging you back and get some help. And it's usually all three. It might be that there's one screaming out more than the other. But you got to find out what's snagging you back to let you move forward. And then take a drink of water, take a breath, slow down, realize whatever way you've been living, it ain't no longer working. And get a wide village of support from allies in diverse fields to look at what's going on and start on a strategic, sane, sensible path of healing.
No, that's good. And whatever it takes to, I often tell my clients, even when you're going through the pain, don't just sit on the couch. When you go on the treadmill, take music that's uplifting. Make your own playlist that will actually speak to your spirit. Whatever that music is, I think is so important. And also not eating while you are even under emotional distress, because your body doesn't digest well. And digestion, right, Dr. B, that is one major sign that it can affect your heart, right? Improper digestion in your whole body for that sake. But if you're eating out of distress, if you're not sleeping, all of those things can affect your body and your heart.
When you're in really severe emotional pain, most people lose their appetite because their stress hormones are so high. But it is a good idea to have fasting or do some fresh green drinks or juice that's not high in fruit sugar but more in vegetables, and let all of that great magnesium, because plants are like captured sunlight. That's what magnesium is. It's captured sunlight. It's nature's Valium.
And I guess
the drink you do, it soothes your nervous system and lets you go on to do the other things you need to do rather than worry about food at this moment, if you're in that acute.
Right. And I guess I don't mean to just stop eating. I mean, not eat under that stressful moment. Take a moment, wait until it has released, and then go and eat, so definitely, you don't want to do away with food, but of course the proper nutrition is important. You and I both, we believe in not depriving yourself of great food. You can have many wonderful things. Chocolate, which we're going to talk about a little later here.
No, I'm so excited about chocolate, and I came out today with my Dr. Berkson's chocolate booklet that people on this show can email me at dlberkson, DLBERKSON @gmail.com, and I have got so many
13 pages,
because
right?
They are battling cancer or inflammatory bowel disease, and they can't have any sugar, but they don't want to feel deprived.
Right.
So I've come up with these recipes that they say when they keep them in the refrigerator, they feel like they're sinning, like they're having a chocolate mousse from a 5-star French restaurant, but there's no sugar, no gluten, no dairy, no soy, no casein from, the protein from dairy products. And I put it all in a fun little 13 or 14 page booklet to tell you recipes and factoids of the food of love, chocolate, and how food can affect your relationship. Because a lot of great experts say that by eating processed foods and being deficient, we get more tired, we get more irritable, and a big part of marital and relationship strife can be tracked back to poor nutrition in both of the people participating in the strife. But chocolate, as it turns out, without sugar, without we're not talking about Snickers and Mars bars and things that have very little cocoa powder in them and lots of sugar and preservatives, etc. in them. We're talking about really quality
raw cacao powder because it's an antioxidant. Food really truly is used to heal the body. And you mentioned how there could be strife among someone who is eating like the sugar and the things that are not good for them, but then there are aphrodisiacs. And that's chocolate is one of them, right? And that's used to even, make the sex hormones go up. And so even good nutrition, I think that's why I always want it. Maybe it's because I eat so well. I don't know. But anyway, that's another subject, right?
Oh, so wait. Let's back up. So every day you move through your life, Tanjie, you want chocolate.
I'm talking about sex. No, not chocolate.
Wine.
No, I'm talking about sex, not chocolate. I don't want chocolate.
Sorry, I got lost.
I'm not too much of a chocolate person. No, I was just saying because I eat so well, I think that's, we're talking about the food being good aphrodisiacs. I was just saying, I think that's probably why I have such a healthy appetite in that area because I love great food. So, but this is just, it's been great. Broken heart syndrome. And guess what? There's good news, everybody. Broken heart syndrome can heal. That's the great thing about this, what we're talking about. You don't have to stay there. You don't have to live in it. You release it. You move with the pain. And but it's great to understand that it's a real thing. Broken heart syndrome is real, and it does exist.
There's a series of things occurring in your heart that make you feel terrible. That's similar to a heart attack, but not a heart attack. So if you take the steps to heal and look at yourself on a body, mind, spirit level, you can heal. Some people don't because perhaps they don't take those steps. We can't judge others.
Yes.
But the broken heart is real. But what it says to us is that we do live on all three levels, body, mind, spirit. I was a collaborator on the very first book that ever used that term. It came out in 1977. It was called Body, Mind, and Spirit. And that term had not been used before. It was a group of medical docs and myself talking about the reality that we do live on all three levels. And the broken heart syndrome really screams that to us, that our emotions and our anatomy come together being united. So if you're really hurting, you can get over it and move on to more love. And it's been wonderful having you in my home.
Yes.
With Alice, the aloe plant, my sexy stovetop, and Tanjie, my wonderful spirit sister.
Yes. It's been great connecting with you and everyone who's all connecting with us together because I believe that we all bring our positive energy and it generates so much love. And so we wish you all love.
You know that I have a book out.
Yes,
Heart Speak.
I want to. Let's talk about that.
It's a big part of healing the heart.
Yes, Heart Speak.
The importance and art of hearing your heart.
Right. Which
And
is amazing.
it's normally about $16 or $17, something like that. But if you're listening to this show and you email me, I will sell it to you for a third the price.
Guess what, everyone?
As say you heard the show. So my email is dlberkson, DLBERKSON @gmail.com. And you can pay through my website, drlindsayberkson.com. And the price for the show tonight is $5.95. Is that right? Did I
yes,
get that price right?
$5.95. And then we also have the Berks and Valentine chocolate booklet. It's 13 pages, you all, of recipes that are amazing. They're with the cacao raw powder, and they're so delectable, and it's like you're eating a dessert from that. You're thinking that you're cheating, but you're not. It's food
It's so delicious.
It's delicious.
You can keep these recipes in your refrigerator and go in instead of a cookie or a candy bar.
Right.
You can take a tablespoon of these absolutely delicious but healthy, heart healthy and body healthy recipes. So if you want to email us for whatever you would like, we have the Berkson Valentine's Day chocolate recipe and factoid book. And we also have Heart Speak, which is now being sold for just about a week for a third the price.
Yes.
And my email is once again, DLBERKSON @gmail.
And you should see that on the screen, everyone. And that chocolate book, everyone, it is only $4.95. And again, this is a $20, $30 book for you all. A gift to you all for watching today.
I'm squeezing your heart. No, not squeezing your heart. I'm hugging your heart.
Yes, I'm hugging you too. So we're hugging you, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. This was specifically and special for you, a free show just to let you know how loved you are. Keep on being your very best. And we will see you next time because we've got more for you. Right, Dr. B?
Wax on, wax off.
Wax on, wax off.
God bless.
God bless you all. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.